Morning everyone. Hope things are well in your neck of the woods. It's been another interesting weekend, I guess. Those who follow the football, it's been some interesting scores and things. Those who've just taken the chance to get out and about and have a walk, I bet you've noticed lots of people out and about having a walk. Hopefully everyone's following the rules and wearing masks. So it's another week in lockdown. Another one down, so to speak. Be nice because I think we run through these 5 or 6 weeks well, and things will be good in the future. I'm at the moment trying to organise a junior school council meeting. I'm going to be asking all the teachers to give me the emails of the people from each grade that are in the junior school council, and then I'm going to get our junior school councillors together, and I'm going to make a Zoom meeting with everyone, and I'll be here at school, and then you guys can be working from outside. Okay? So we want to get a bit of junior school council rocking along. We'll get those beanies happening, and we will have done something during this COVID time. You might be interested to know I've applied for a grant for $50,000 to upgrade the sandpit in the shade sail area the shade sail to be area down there. And the grassed area will have rubberised matting under it and things like that. I've also put in an application recently for a grant to cover this BER building's roof with solar panels. So could be some interesting times ahead. When you get back, I'll show you our master plan, which we've got for the whole school over the next probably 4 or 5 years. Means that part of the master plan is your garden out there, which will be going hammer and tong in last term to get that garden underway. Okay, I've got the jackhammer there, we'll get stuck into it, wheelbarrows, get it all happening. Now let's talk about your packs this week. Now the biggest thing about your pack this week is, at the back of it, there'll be a planet mini project. Don't rush this one. You have to choose a celestial body in our solar system. And celestial body is one of our words, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because you have to look up its meaning. But you'll get the idea once you know the meaning of celestial body. You do that once you've chosen your celestial body. I know Tiernan had some ideas on some of the Kuiper Belt planets. You may choose a moon going around one of the planets. You may choose a planet. You may choose the sun. I don't mind what you do. You might choose the asteroid belt and talk about that. But there's a whole lot of questions to deal with here. It'll be a 3 pages to 4 pages. It'll have pictures, diagrams. It's a mini project. It's not I'll write a few things down and you'll be happy. No, tell me about this planet. There's lots of questions here that lead into it. You can even ask some more of yourself and look it up. Extend yourself. Don't just do the easy stuff. I see the easy stuff all the time. It doesn't do you any justice. Interestingly, I had a migrant story sent to me the other day. Person asked for a bit of feedback. I gave them some feedback. They added some things to their story. It is a beauty. That's Tiernan. Well done, Tiernan. I've seen some sensational pieces of work from you guys over this period. So I'm not putting this down to a waste of time. Oh, gee, this is no good. I'm seeing some brilliant stuff from you guys. So keep it up. Keep doing your best. As you get older, you won't get bunny rabbit stamps for every good thing you do. But if you feel yourself that you've done your best, then that will be a great learning for you to take forward into your education, into your work life, into your family life, where you've done the right thing, you've done your best, and you get an intrinsic feeling is the word, where it's inside. You don't need a bunny rabbit stamp, you just know you've done your best, and that's what you're after. That's what we aim for, just your best. You know that. Once you achieve your best, you've got to be proud of that. As well as the mini project in here, there's another 3 weeks of spelling tests. Okay. Now the booklet itself this week, we went away from websites, which we'll go back to over the next few weeks, but essentially we've gone away this week. This week I've put in there a whole lot of different information. Whoops. Big one this week. Heavy. A whole lot of information about the planets and the sun. So you can work your way through that and read that. It's in colour. Don't waste it. Read it. What was that? Oh, I said don't waste it. Read it. Read about every planet. You can use this stuff in your mini project, but it's not enough. But you can use it as a start. I want you to read it all about all the planets. Okay? It's all there and easy to read, and it's got some information about each planet. Okay? Our words this week obviously come from what you read. There you go. We then have some handwriting sheets as usual. Handwriting's incredibly important. And then a nice little question. This one is about disease. Very topical, isn't it? And it just talks about disease, and you answer some questions afterwards. Our maths this week. Maths this week is one set of sheets for everyone. And what I'd like you to do is work your way through, and they revise and keep going over the three concepts we've been looking at. Equivalent fractions, fractions of a group, and mixed numbers and improper fractions. So I'll have a look here just to go over it, just to make sure you guys, well, hopefully understand this before we move on to our next part of fractions. Obviously I'm using Mr. Miller's room this week because my room has children in it. Okay. Equivalent. The fraction here is 3/4. 3 equal parts out of 4 equal parts. You know, if you've got a calculator in front of you at some stage, put in 3, put in divided by 4. See what you get. Anyway, let's get back to this. What did I do to 4 to get to 8? I times it by 2. What do I do to 3? Times it by 2, and I end up with 6/8. Pretty straightforward. Now, I can't do anything to the 8, but if I go back here to the 4, you can see I multiply that by 3, I multiply that by 3, and I get 9/12. They are equivalent fractions. 3/4 is the lowest terms it can come to. How would we turn that, into lowest terms? Do the opposite to the multiplying, where we would divide. Okay? So here, if I look at 9 and 12 and I see those two numbers, I see those two numbers can be divided by 3. How many 3's go into 9? 3 of them. How many 3's go into 12? 4 of them. In its lowest terms, it's 3/4. Now, if I could get another number to divide into those, it could go lower again, but I can't. That's it, 3/4. Let's look at this one, 3/5. We doubled it, times it by 2, so we do the same there. Oh, times it by 10. To get 100 times it by 10, I get 60. I'm going to write something else here. Six-tenths. Matches back to here. This is a decimal, isn't it? Decimals actually match up with fractions too. All we have to do with a decimal is have either 10 or 100 or 1,000 on the bottom, and we can have it as a decimal. 3/5 turns into 6/10. Could have been 0.6. 3/5 also turns into 60 hundredths. And there it is there, 0.60, 0.60, 0.60. Let's go down here, half. Oh, we didn't double it, we multiplied it by 5. So this one's going to multiply by 5. Multiply by 10, multiply by 10, 50, 0.5, or 0.50. So, an equivalent fraction, because believe it or not, just to confuse you, the full name of decimals is not decimals, they're decimal fractions. Ooh, decimal fractions. Yeah, so they can be related back to our normal garden variety fractions where we cut pizzas on. And this is how they get related back. Now that's just a little teaser, because as we go down further into fractions, we'll be talking about decimals and even something called percentages. Now that was equivalent fractions, fractions that are the same. Fractions of a group. Remember, I spoke to you and said, right, the denominator determines what we do. We have to chop 32 up into 8 equal pieces. And you're going to sit there and go, well, 8 fours is 32, so I know that, I know my tables. So you're right, 1/8 of 32 is 4. But our numerator tells us we need 3 of them. 3 fours are 12. That's how we do those. No harder, no easier. Okay? Sometimes there's a huge fraction out here in a little number. Put this into its lowest terms, and then it'll work. Let's have a look at this one. What do we divide 80 by? 10 equal, sorry. We chop 80 up into 10 equal pieces. We know each of those pieces is going to be worth, well, 10 eighths, so it's going to be 8, isn't it? We've got 7 on them, 7 eighths are 56. Yeah, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to write this. Watch. Sorry. That should be 80. And that should be 80. Carried away there. We know 7/10 can be 0.7 because you know decimals, remember? First column is tenths, second column is hundreds, third column is thousands. 0.7 of 80. Oh, we can go back to this, sure. But a better way is to get your calculator out and go 0.7 times 80. And you'll come up with 56. Just another way of doing it. Just another way of looking at it. Just meaning that these are related. All right. Mixed numbers and improper fractions. Fat-headed fractions. Fractions that are too large on the top. The denominator tells us how many pieces we're chopping things up into. We're in thirds here. Thirds. Now, we've got 17 of them. 17 thirds. Man, that's heaps. Okay. Well, if I get 3 thirds together, what will that give us? And I hope you're all thinking, well, that'll give us 1. Come on. Because 3 thirds equals 1 whole. Looks like a peace sign there, but it's actually a pizza. There's 3 thirds, that makes 1 whole. Simple. 2 wholes, we'd have 6. 3 wholes, we'd have 9. 4 wholes, we'd have 12. 5 wholes, 15, and then we've got 2 left over. So if we look at that, we've got a third there, third there, third there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 thirds. So we've actually got there, how many holes have we got? How many whole pizzas did that make? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes and 2 thirds left over. That's how we turn an improper fraction into a mixed number. Why would we want to do that? Well, often we see it like this, so we have to understand, we get a mixed number and we have to understand it's actually this. And sometimes when we do an addition, which you'll learn about soon, or a subtraction, we might end up with too many on top, so we might have to turn it back into this. Let's have a look at this one. We've got 15 over 4. It's an improper fraction. It's too big. Well, how many groups of 4 are in 15? Well, we know 4 fours is 1. So we've got 4. 8, 12, 1, 2, 3 holes, plus, can we get another one in there? 12, 13, 14, 15, no, we've only got 3. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 3 and 3/4 left over. Think about, when you're doing these, think about this number. Think about how many groups of quarters I can make in here. I put 4 together, gives me a hole. I put another 4 together, gives me 2 holes. Put another 4 together, gives me 3 holes, and I've got 3 4s are 12. Then I go 13, 14, 15. If I could get another quarter, I'd actually have 4 holes. But I didn't. 3 3/4. The last one here, this is where I've got a mixed number. What am I going to do here? How many quarters? They want an improper fraction. You'll be asked to do that in one of the activities. I've got two holes. How many quarters are in 2 holes? Well, in each hole I'm going to have 4. One hole will be 4. 2 holes will be 8. So I've got 8. I might even put that up there. 8. And then I've got these 3. 8 plus 3. I can do that. I'm allowed to do that. Right? What's 8 plus 3? It's 11, isn't it, Ethan? So that's 11/4. Toby's already figured that out. That's good. But for some people, it's nice just to go through the whole process. I like it when you do your working out like that. Then I can see if you make a blue. And fix up on it. Pick up on it, I should say. Now here we are here. We all make mistakes. I did. Here we are here. Equivalent, fractions of a group, mixed numbers and improper fractions. That's all I'm after at the moment. When you do those sheets and work your way through those sheets, each one of those activities is about that. It starts to talk about decimals and things in a couple of them. If you don't understand that, leave it. No sweat. But I want you to have a crack at trying to work your way through all those math sheets. We've found people have been doing the easy sheets. That's why I've stopped doing that. I'm just going to do the one set. What I might do in the future when I get into some of the harder stuff, I'll do an easier and a harder. Now I want you to have a go at going through the easy. The whole idea of the easy was, what do you remember from last time you did fractions? So you'll go through that and go, oh yeah, I remember. And if it's getting really easy, jump into the harder stuff. Challenge yourself. Step up. Don't step back and go, oh, I'll just do my bit. Some people were doing the middle because there was only a couple of sheets in the middle. The reason why there was only a couple of sheets was that was for people who were doing the easy to extend themselves, or the people might decide to do the harder just to warm them up to get into the harder. Not to just do the middle. Yes, very clever, you've done the section of maths that you needed to do, lovely, lovely, but really not what I was after. And I'm guessing you knew that. All right, big deal this week, make sure you read the planet stuff. Make sure you think about your mini project. Most of you have already, I get that. Start it. Format, Word or PowerPoint's up to you. PowerPoint's probably good. Other people can watch it. We can put it up online. I used to get you to do a booklet, like as in say you'll do a Word document with diagrams. We are going to need, when we build our planets, we're going to need to be able to put your information on the planets, to stick it on like on a piece of paper. So that means if you've got some Word documents there, they'll be easier to do. Maybe we'll cut and paste out of a PowerPoint onto a Word document to help us out there. But your work you do, when we build our solar system, we're going to pin it up on the solar system. Okay? Something old-fashioned, but it looks really good in the classroom. Now have a good week. Get your work done. If you get it all done, sure, one day's up, one day's for you. At the same time, spread it out over the week. Set yourself some goals. I'm going to do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, and so on. If all you get done today is all your reading, part of your word study, and a page of maths, what a day. That's a good day. Now your projects are starting to get due. Make sure projects are ready to start to come into me. Term 2 projects. Last week they were actually due, so I need them by this week. You can email them in, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone, have a nice week. I will be speaking to those who are interested for a Monday afternoon Zoom at 1 p.m. Okay, thank you.